Hey, this is Nick. All right, this is Nick, and what you're hearing there are the first few opening bars of a song from my new EP called Follow the Feeling, and the song is called No Getting Over a Cowboy. So I'll give you a little bit of the backstory on this. And you know, the reason I'm doing this video in the first place is I always enjoy getting a little glimpse into somebody's creative process, and sometimes it actually helps me enjoy the song even a lot more. And I'm hoping that, you know, has the same impact on you guys that are watching this. So also I told Richie Pollock that I would do this, so I'm doing it. And I've always wanted to do it anyway. So anyway, No Getting Over a Cowboy, the backstory is that I had written like 3 songs that I thought were, you know, really good, and I wanted to do something with them. And then I kind of gave myself permission to write a clunker, I said, you know, because I kind of felt like, wow, I have these 3 and I want to do something with them, and then let me just write this thing just to have fun as an exercise, but this probably won't go anywhere because, well, a few things. I was starting from the title, which I thought was, you know, really cheesy, and it is. And then I just had this drum pattern, which I was starting off with. So let's, yeah, enough of the talking here. Let's look at some of the tracks that we have going on here. So, you know, in the beginning, there's just like 2 instruments, and let's solo the drums. And I think there's some weird phasing going on because of the audio recording. I'm not sure, but anyway, that's the drum part. It's just a basic. It's kind of low key at this point. And all I have going over that is, in addition, I have some guitar over here. These light blue channels. So let's try that guitar bus. The guitar is made up of 2 sounds, really. And of course, I don't know why, but I only have one panned partially to the left and one panned straight up the center. But, you know, maybe that's an oversight on my part, but it sounds pretty balanced, I guess, when you hear it. And so you mix that with the drum part, and you have the intro of the song.
Know that you should leave him, cause this time he's gone too far. Saw him sitting at the stoplight with a stranger in his car. Like to think you're nobody's toy, but there's no getting over a cowboy. Out again this evening, and he's nowhere to be found. It's going familiar sound. Like to think you're nobody's toy, but there's no getting over a cowboy.
My homeschool piano.
You know that he's no good. Do you have to strike the 2-1?
So on this part right here, it's kind of, this is the bridge, so it kind of gets right into the structure of the song. The song, you know, I gave myself permission to write a clunker, so then, you know, I had the title, and then when I wanted to do a structure thing, I wanted to do a song where there wasn't this big build up to the chorus and get to the hook, and I just wanted to have it just like 8 bars and then just say no getting over a cowboy at the end of each of those 8 bars. So that's kind of what it is until you get to the bridge. And then the overall sound, you know, that I was going for, I said, okay, I got the title. I've got like this structure. I'm going to do it in this old-timey Beatles kind of way where they didn't do a lot of build-up, a lot of waiting around to get to the point. And then I said, you know, what do I want to do sound-wise? And I was thinking Sunset Grill, you know, by Don Henley, actually. And so then I listened to Sunset Grill for some ideas. And I realized it was way too overproduced, and I didn't have that much time or ambition, quite frankly, to go as deep as Don Henley did. And that song is like 6 minutes long anyway. But there was one element that I liked, and that's the stand-up bass. So I grabbed that concept, and I grabbed my, not a stand-up bass, I'm sorry, a fretless bass. So I liked that, and I had a fretless bass. I have a fretless bass. Sandy asked me one time what a fretless is. It's a guitar or a bass without the metal wires going across the neck. So anyway, here's the bass sound at the bridge.
Even though you know that
There's a fretless. This is my regular fretted bass. And then that sounded pretty thick together. And the fretless, as you could see, has quite a bit going on there. Namely, well, one of my favorites is a bass rider, so you got to have that to keep your volume at a real constant level. And then I just got a shit ton of chorus on a fretless bass. A little auto tune, I think, just to make sure it's super in the pocket. Oh well, you know, I'm not Jaco Pastorius. What can I say?
even though you know that it's no good.
Layer that up.
Do you have the strength to do what you should? Funny and he's charming and he always.
So all that's happening during that bridge is bass.
Even though you know that he's no good. And do you have the strength to do what you should?
So I have the fretless. I have my regular bass. They're both panned up the middle. And then a third element. Straight up synthesized, just a synthesized sound, which I then kind of jack up the high end with the EQ. I think I did something like that with this just to, yeah. So this sound had a real big bassy sound when I originally was listening to it. But I just wanted more high end cuts, so I just kind of rolled off this low end here, which you can see has a lot of action going down there. And I boosted these high end sounds. So, and then you put it all together and you got that sound.
Even though you know that he's no good.
And now the drums. I'll just make
Do you have the strength to do what you should?
So the drums, here they are going. A lot of stuttering, a lot of chopped up drum beats. So that original drum beat that I had, I just took it and I kept mangling it throughout the course of the song. So it's constantly changing, but it's just variations on that same loop that I programmed. I muted in and out. A lot of automation going on. 30-second notes, triplets. Really obnoxious, the drum part.
But there's no getting over.
But I was able to get away with an obnoxious drum part because the rest of the song is kind of mellow. A lot of whole notes and a lot of, just sustained things going on. So you got a lot of transient type instruments that have attack, and then you have a lot of these sustaining instruments, mostly otherwise, and that kind of pastoral little melody. So, that's kind of where I'm coming from with this No Getting Over a Cowboy. And of course, the lyrical content is kind of fun.
Even though you know that he's no good. And do you have the strength to do what you should? Funny and he's charming and he always gets his way.
Let's listen to the home
But
school
every
video.
time
I like that.
but this
Of course, some strings, you need that.
cowboy.
Trumpets. Oh, here's the fretless bass solo. fretless bass solo. Gosh, that has some stuff going on. So when I recorded that, you know, I needed to have it pop again. So, you know, the way you make things pop sometimes, it's counterintuitive for bass, but I roll off a lot of the low end, and, you know, I've got the high end jacked. But then not only that, for that particular sound, I'm riding on this this thing here. Scream 4. It's a distortion unit. So, but it's set on a tape setting, and, you know, even though I have the sound dialed all the way up, I'm using it as an insert effect. So on the insert effects, I have this distortion. I have this another retro kind of sounding thing. I've got some multi-panning delays, very slightly dialed in, and a little short reverb, but it just you know, makes that sound pop through. Let's get to that sound again. Yeah, so you can hear that kind of rips through the mix, you know, when you EQ it like that and add a little distortion. Distortion on bass is key.
Do you have the strength to do what you should? Even though you know that it's no good. Do you have the strength to do what you should? Feel that you should leave him, 'cause this time you've gone too.
Ooh. Yikes. Yeah, so that's it. So as I look at this, I see that there's not a lot of heavy stereo panning going on either, but it still seems all right to me. You know, sometimes I don't worry too much about the panning. Sometimes I go crazy with it, but that is it. So just as a recap, this is off of my EP, Follow the Feeling. It's available on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you want to find it, YouTube, SoundCloud, blah, 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 blah. And the song is called No Getting Over a Cowboy. So hopefully you found that interesting. And maybe I'll do another one. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.